So I'm going to do all these operations in one quick little spurt here so you guys can see all of them. They're pretty simple all by themselves, but there's 3 different things that will make your camp building significantly easier just by knowing them. So let's get back into the camp menu real quick. The first one that I want to show you guys is actually moving an object without having to actually move your character. So right now, in order to put this down, I'll put it there. Say if I get too close to it, right? See how it's real close to me? If I want to put it up here, that's fine. If I want to get it up there, well, okay, that works. But if I want to get it to a further destination, I'm going to have to actually get up to it. How do I get it up there? Well, if I hold down the A button on Xbox, or on PS4 I believe it would be the X button, and use the left stick, I can actually move it in and out, and then left and right, and circles, and really any direction I want. The only direction I can't move it is up and down. Those you will have to do separately, but as long as you're holding the A button, it's not going to place, you're just going to move it around. Now what that's good for, is if I want to put it up there, and I can't reach it normally, I can put it up there just like that. That's by holding the A button while I've got something selected. Let's put down some furniture. Alright, now you might be wondering, I put down these here. These are kind of boring, I want to switch my floors. Well, a quick way to do this, without having to actually move it, see, it's moving everything out of the way. How do I switch those out without doing it? Because if I just delete it, it won't work. Well, if I actually hit the X button on Xbox One here, you'll bring up this little menu here, where you can scrap it, store it, or you'll also see Replace. Now, I know this is pretty out in the open, but a lot of people don't know about the Replace option. So if I click that with Y, it'll bring up this little menu here. Now I can actually switch it between foundations. I can switch it down to the concrete, I can switch it back to the wooden foundation, or I can even switch it to one of my various options for flooring. And now I've switched them all, without having to move anything that's on top of them. But this works for anything that has a variation as well, so if I want to switch this one, if I want to switch the walls, that is, I can replace those. I can turn it into a doorway, regular wall, or I can switch the style altogether. And now you see, just by using the replace, I actually didn't have to move anything off of these walls. I just changed them right where they're at. When you come into your build menu here, you're going to see a lot of things that have the lock option on them. And that can make things kind of difficult to find, especially when you have variations, but not all the variations within one. Let me find one that's a good example here. Okay, well I guess I don't have a very good example. But just take my word for it. A way to make your build menu a little bit less cluttered and a little easier to find something specific, if you look down at the bottom, you'll see that there's a toggle buildable objects option. By clicking the left stick, I actually shorten my list to only things that I have the option to build, things that I have unlocked the plans for. So now I can go through these without having a problem and put them down where I would like them. And with those 3 options, we've completely changed this little house. Like I said, those are definitely things that will come in handy for anybody that's learning how to build in this game. Some of them are pretty standard. You probably have already found them yourself, but I do know a lot of people that have not found them and have asked me about them, so I thought I would show you guys. Now, something else that's really handy to know is the blueprint option. One complaint that I see online quite a bit is that workshops, public workshops in specific, you can build up You can spend 20 to 30 minutes building up these places, but what happens if you lose the server? Or what happens if somebody takes this and you have to go to a different workshop? What if you get disconnected, anything like that? If you lose access to the workshop, you lose everything that you built, right? Well, using the blueprint option, you can actually save yourself quite a bit of time. So if we wanted to take this building here and put it in any other workshop, any other public workshop, we can use the blueprint option to transfer this anywhere we want as long as we have the build materials. So what we're going to do here is, if you look at the bottom, once again you'll see an option that says hold for blueprint, or hold A. So what we're going to do is we're going to do that right now. We're going to hold, and it's actually going to turn this blue and kind of a whitish. Now, anyone that's this light blue here means we select it and add it to the blueprint. So let's go ahead and do that with the whole building real quick. Now, so far I've done about half of the building, but by re-clicking a wall or re-clicking an object, you can actually remove it from the blueprint, or you can re-add it. But if you want a quick way to do this entire thing without having to go through and clicking every single piece, you can actually do select structure, which on the Xbox One is the left bumper. So with that, you click the button and it selects everything that is attached to the piece that we are currently highlighting. So once we are done, we're just going to hit X and create blueprint, and put it into an empty spot and name it whatever you would like. For this one, we're going to name it house. Just simple. So now that we named our house, we're going to go ahead and come on over here, and in our blueprints we have house. So we can place it down anywhere that it is going to come up as green. Well, as long as it's within the budget, of course. And there we go. We can place this down in any workbench that we want. By doing this here and utilizing your blueprint section with different standard variations of defensive buildings and workshop buildings and stuff like that, you can actually build up a public workshop in just a few minutes and take off before you ever have to really worry about it.